I saw you at THSCA Coaching School and Convention about 2 weeks ago, and I said, I'll get my chance. Don't you worry. I'll get my chance to put you on the hot seat. And here you are. Are you nervous?
Not at all. I think
You don't look nervous.
I think I had one player up here that was nervous.
I think you did. Yeah, it's interesting.
I told these guys a week ago.
Yeah.
You're going to go up there and they're going to ask you questions and you're going to get interviewed.
Yeah. But you're a natural at this. You've been doing this.
You've been doing this for years, right?
You just take it just like I'm talking to you or you're talking to a group over here.
Yeah. We're not that important, to be real honest.
No, you are. You are.
So
You're working the Dave Campbell's magazine is a legend.
Well, we're trying. We're trying to keep it that way.
Don't let it go because it's special in the state of Texas.
Well, we're trying as hard as we can, just like your Mustangs are up there. You guys are the defending conference champs, left out of the playoffs. It's a little bit of positives and negatives there. Has the way that last season ended, has that served as fuel for you guys in this offseason?
You know, our kids, and I'm going to go back, the COVID year was not a good year for anybody. Mm-hmm. We went through the spring. We got beat by Permian Basin, an ugly loss, an overtime over in, I think we're in Midland maybe. And that game resonated with us. Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of the healing process. Mm-hmm. And the next week, and I'm gonna, if we got a minute, I'll tell you exactly how that happened and how we got to where we were last year.
Got nothing but time for you, Coach.
I was embarrassed during the game. Mm-hmm. 19 penalties, 6 personal fouls. Mm. Our guys wanted to fight after the game, which is immaturity. We got outplayed. We got outcoached. But on the way home, I wrote about 8 or 10 pages about my thoughts. Got home before I went to bed and wrote another 2 pages. Got up in the morning and wrote another 2 pages. Went and watched the tape and wrote about 4 pages. And then I met with the coaches and listened to their thoughts. And then I talked to the weight coach. And then I formulated an opinion, and we had a meeting that afternoon. And that meeting was not an enjoyable meeting for anybody. And I told the coaches, I said, somebody's going to get up and walk out of here. Mm. And I don't care who it is, if it's a starter, this position, that position, let it be. Don't even try to go after him because he's gone. And that one guy got up out of that. And we hadn't had a team meeting prior to that. And then that next week, I started interviewing the players. And I would say out of 197 of them said, Coach, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to us. Mm-hmm. And then our weight coach did a tremendous job of getting them to understand where we were and where we're going. And so as we went through the season, and we were lucky in some cases. I mean, the Commerce game, we made a big catch in the end zone when it was really knocked up, and then it became in our hands, and we scored right there at the end of the game. But our kids just battled and fought, and we probably weren't the most talented team. I still don't think we're the most talented team. So at the end of the season, we were disappointed. But I think coming from where we came from and what we had to overcome to get to that point, it was pretty special. Mm-hmm. I've not seen, of all the teams that we've had over the years, I've not seen a team that celebrate the last game of the season with the way we celebrated, in a positive way, not a negative way. And to me, that just really touched my heart to watch those guys. So we came in the meeting. We had a meeting set up for Sunday. I thought we were going to get in. When it looked like we weren't, I called a couple of team members, put a text out, said, it doesn't look like we're going to get in. We'll meet tomorrow afternoon. If it changes, we'll meet tonight. Yeah. As disappointed as everybody was, there wasn't any complaining. Yeah. And I think that's an area of growth. Now, we graduated 20-some-5 players, so we're dealing with a bunch of younger kids, particularly that haven't played. Now Malik's played quite a bit. Arvy's, when he's not injured, he's played quite a bit. But he's still got 2 years of eligibility left with the COVID year, and he's only really last year was his first year, so he hadn't played a lot. So I think we're in a good place, but the schedule is not easy. The grind's not easy. We just got to take a day by a time and try to get better as we go, and I think that's been the mission of these guys all summer. We've had I think we had about 75 their first summer session, and we had over 100 during the second session. So, and I attribute that to our weight coach. Jeremy Pick is awesome. We don't deserve to have him. I told our AD that we need to give him as many raises as we can because
it's a good man right here. It's a good man.
He is.
Will be my boss.
Yeah.
But Pick is. He is. I hate to follow him in speaking because he does such a good job. He reads all the time. It's just him and his wife. He gets up at 4:00 in the morning, goes to bed at 10, and he reads all the time, and he remembers. I pick and choose what I read, and I don't remember anything.
Well, Coach, I got some good news for you. You may be graduating a lot of those players, but you got some key players on defense coming back, like cornerback Dylan Davis and defensive end Malik Owens. Do you think that squad is going to be even better than it was in the 2021 season?
I think if we can mature like I see us maturing, I think our defense is probably ahead of our offense. I think that we've got a little bit more talent, and we're well-rounded on all the positions, and there's some depth there. There's not really a super standout, but there's depth, and I like what we're doing, and we got good team speed. So I think that we can build on what we've done.
All right, so let's talk quarterback. Everyone's wondering about your quarterback situation. If you'd like to just break some news right now and name a starting quarterback, you can.
We'd appreciate that.
Well,
that'd be great.
The guy that ended up last year was Nico Hollins, and Nico was a backup all year, and really, after those first 5 days of COVID, the practice during COVID, he probably had although we didn't name a starter. After we dropped, we stopped playing because of COVID. He probably had an edge on all the guys, and then he didn't come back. He had came back in the fall and then had a child, and then went back home for the child, and then he stayed home, and then the child died. So he's had some adversity, but and then he came back last fall. He wasn't there at all during the summer, so he was way behind, and. He was just awesome last year with his energy and positive energy and enthusiasm and just accepting. And he started off the third quarterback, maybe the fourth, and he worked his way up to 2. And the kid who was 2 that went down had a Ponder, the kid that played for us during the spring, had an amazing attitude. Nico had an amazing attitude. We just never gave him a chance. And that was probably if I had to do last year over again, we didn't even play him in the Quincy game when we won 45-20 or something. And he should have played. He should have played the fourth quarter, but he didn't, and I take responsibility for that. So he's the guy going in, and we got a couple other guys that have not played. Our quarterback that finished the UT game in 18 let us down with a score and almost ended up beating them. Kaylor Sullivan is back. And I think those are probably our top 2 guys at this point.
That's fair.
And finally, Coach, you got a lot of responsibilities on your plate. Not only are you a head coach, but you're also the dean of the Lone Star Conference coaches. Am I right? That's a lot of responsibilities. What are your thoughts on this newly redesigned conference?
You make me feel old.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh, jeez.
I just look at her, and she's so young and cute, and here we are.
Oh, you're going to make me blush.
And here we are. But, somebody said up there, and I did get a chance to elaborate on it, being on a college campus, regardless if it's our players or not, you're around their girlfriends, you're around the music, and I'm not a rap guy, but I like some of it.
Come on.
But
Sure.
these guys are always dancing and bopping, and the girl, you just feel young.
You keeps you young.
And I don't feel old. And then somebody said one day to me, "Well, age is just a number." And I've got, I think, as much energy as the youngest guy in here. Maybe not the players, but the coaches. And that's a sidebar to what we were talking about. So what was your question? I got sidetracked there.
We're just kind of curious. You're adding
The
teams from
yeah.
all over the United States. I mean, what are your thoughts on this new conference?
Well, mixed.
New edition. Yeah.
We've only got to go up there one time. We've traveled twice and gotten beat twice. We took commercial to Western Oregon in 19 and got beat, played poorly. Took a charter up to Central Washington and had 7 turnovers and got beat. No, we probably played better in that game despite the 7 turnovers than we did in the Western Oregon game. It's good to have 3 members to fulfill game spots. It's not good for the budget. Those guys those teams up there, they're used to traveling. They played each other twice over the last however long, when they had Azusa and they had Humboldt. So they had an 8-game schedule and only had to play 3 games away, but the rest of it was on the West Coast. Now that we're going up there, we're not chartering this year because the gas has gone up, diesel's gone up. So we're like most teams, we're going by commercial. Well, going by commercial, whether it's us or anybody else, there's a lot of hurdles to overcome just to get on the plane, to get to the airport, your luggage, and all the things that you got 60 players that are scattered around the airport. I mean, it's not an easy thing to navigate, and then you're on your feet the whole time. But beside that, I think financially, that's the concern of our conference, and I would say of our presidents, our ADs, our coaches, the travel that we get in at noon or something, but we got to leave Wichita Falls at 4 or 3 to get to the airport 2 hours ahead of time to unload all the luggage. But coming back, we don't leave till the next day, so we might not get back till 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, you're behind on your next opponent.
Right.
But as far as playing good competition, we haven't played Simon Fraser, but I can tell you that Western Oregon's a very good football team, and Central Washington's a very good football team. Very well coached, physical and tough, both teams. So, no matter where they're ranked, in my book, they're in the top echelon of the league. And I actually voted probably Central Washington 2 and Western Oregon 3. And then Angelo 1. I mean, I think that they've gained my respect.
It's a strong conference. Bill Maskill, head coach of the Midwestern State Mustangs. Coach, we certainly appreciate your time as
thanks,
always, my
Greg.
Friend.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
to see you as always. Thank
you guys
Coach.
keep on keeping.
I will do.
Thanks, Coach.
Good.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Coach.